ready to get started with the presentations?
Yep, I'm ready. Fire away.
All right.
So we're good spot, we can start?
Yeah, whenever you guys are ready.
We ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Okay, hi everyone. So starting off the SCD 2022 Hackathon with Team React, and our project name is MUSE, just as a quick intro. So, oh wait, my mouse is not, okay. Table of contents. So we'll be going through our intro, our problem theme, the product itself, and what we've learned, and the quick demonstration. So for a quick introduction, my name is Kylie. I was the front-end developer, the UX UI designer of our team. And then we have Mazwar, who's waving right now, who is our back-end developer. So with this semester's hackathon theme being life at home, our team decided to tackle one of the newest yet prevalent issues of life at home today during the COVID-19 pandemic, which is the lack of social interaction. Human beings are a social species that rely on cooperation with others to survive and thrive, whether it's meeting friends, families, and even strangers. But pre-pandemic, people would have festive gatherings, hang out with friends, study in cafes, and so much more. And yet, with the need to be safe from COVID variants today, everyone must do their best to limit close contact with everyone and anyone, which places people in bubbles of isolation. In a 2021 study by Harvard researchers at Making Caring Common, 61% of those aged 18 to 25 in their study group reported high levels of feeling lonely frequently or almost all the time. This was a drastic compared to the 25% who recalled experiencing loneliness 4 weeks before the pandemic. Life at home used to be a place of de-stress and comfort after an exhausting day of interacting with hundreds of people at school, work, stores, and more. But now, homes have become isolated bubbles with little to no social interactions apart from those you live with. And that's where our product MUSE comes in.
Yeah, so this is the final result of our creativity is MUSE, which is a public online music space. It's an application that allows users all around the world to listen to music together in music spaces, and it creates a sense of belonging for users who have similar music tastes. So it's targeted towards those who are experiencing that aforementioned amplified isolation, which is caused as a result of the pandemic, as well as those who have a shared affinity and passion for listening to music. So this is what resulted in MUSE. It aims to create that sense of belonging, whether it's by generally enjoying music with friends or by with hundreds of random users around the world who share your similar music tastes and artists and genre preferences. So right now we're actually going to show you a mock UI that's also going to demonstrate the functionality that we wanted to tackle. So as you can see, using Figma as created by our UI designer, Kylie, the idea was that the users would be able to log in and connect their Spotify accounts, which would also then allow us to dissect and also gather information about their listening activities. So after they log in, they're able to select their preferred artists or genres or songs, or and so after doing that, they get to the main page, which also allows them to view a bunch of trending music spaces or recommended music spaces that are algorithmically generated based on their listening habits. They also have suggestions at the bottom where it says you might also like. It also recommends them to new music rooms or music spaces to discover new artists or genres. There's also an available trending spaces, which shows all trending spaces are or more popular ones that are growing with more users. So users can see which popular artists or genre in those music spaces are trending. And then the final, okay, there we go. Sorry, I was blacking out for a second on my screen. But the final little slide right here is what theoretically our music space would look like when you join in on a music space. So as you can see, They're the cute songs that are popping up. These music spaces are created by a quote-unquote DJ who creates the room and hosts the room, as well as being able to queue up which songs they have or they fit the music space, as well as you can see below, similar spaces that are again generated to hopefully garner the user's attentions. So algorithms are used to create these different spaces based on the listening habits of the user to pique interest as well as to branch out and reach new listeners who are looking for a new sound. Kylie, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, just to to put it shortly, users can create these rooms to listen to songs with friends or make it public for anyone to join in to listen with them. So as of right now, there isn't a platform like Muse that's widely known. If it does exist, we don't know of it. Something of similar value is like Spotify's group session, which allows users to play music and invite others to listen in, but the environment right now is private, and overall the feature is not popular or well loved at the moment. And contrary to this feature, Muse aims at creating online spaces where anyone can enjoy music together as they would have in a physical public setting like a cafe, a party, grocery stores, and more. Access to join, and then this page will pop up and you can see that, oh, there are 374 listeners in this space, and these are the songs that will be coming up next. Another similar existing software that Muse differs from is Twitter's recently released Twitter Spaces, where users can join said spaces to talk and listen to one another. The concept of creating an online space is similar, but varies from Muse by being focused on conversations rather than music, and is more like a real-time podcast type of deal. So if we go back to our slides. So Mazar and I learned quite a lot this hackathon. We currently came in wanting to learn React Native and the Spotify API because those two skills are something we're trying to learn for our software engineering class and don't have any experience on. So this was our first time getting to work with those two concepts. It's loading a bit. I'm assuming it's like the bandwidth of like sharing. It's like taking a minute, but React Native was one thing that we both learned together along with the Spotify API. And then as the front-end developer, I used jQuery and Node.js, with jQuery being the JavaScript library and the Node.js being the runtime environment for the app itself. And JavaScript was the programming language of React.
Okay, there we go. So as for myself, being the back-end developer, as Kylie previously mentioned, I also learned a lot about React Native, as well as Spotify API, which I didn't know too much about, which has a lot of data about music, artists, albums, genres, a bunch of data that we can use to our advantage. That's straight from the Spotify data catalog. And as the backend developer, I learned a lot about Socket.io and Express.js. So Socket.io was used to help communicate. It's all about real-time communication between the client and the server side. And then Express.js was some additional support. It's an open source backend framework, which I was also able to integrate into the Muse application.
And now we can have a short demonstration of our product. So because we only had a limited time to create our product, it's definitely not in the finished stage that we'd like to be that you saw through Figma, but we were really glad with like the amount of progress we were able to make and the amount of knowledge that we were able to learn this weekend. So here's like the homepage or the starting page of Muse. So you would log in with Spotify. So this is how the Spotify API is connected, where you are first directed to log in, you are then directed to the authorization page of Spotify. You log in as yourself. I've already pre-logged in with my account, and then you click agree, and then you are directed back to the Muse page where you have now successfully logged in. Taking a quick second. All right, and then so here is just like the simple UI for now, where you would input the username of yourself that would show up when you enter a space, and then in the search bar itself, you would then enter in whatever genre or artist that you are wanting to listen to at the moment. Currently, the Spotify API only pulls pulls artists from the API at the moment. We didn't get the chance to integrate genres as of yet. So, for example, like you would type in Post Malone as an artist that you're wanting to listen to, and then you press search, and then the Spotify API pulls that all of these various spaces that exist that include your top result of Post Malone, and then artists of similar genre or just of similar genre, yeah. And then once you click on them, then you would enter a space and then be able to listen to the songs that are playing in that room currently that is hosted by the DJ. And that's basically it. And you can just continuously search various artists or genres and then continue to find various artists and rooms. Anything to add?
Yeah, so hypothetically, users would be able to, once they find their preferred result, they would be able to go into these rooms, and also other users would be able to go in these rooms and find other users, and the music would just start playing, and everyone would have a blast. So yeah. I think that's it for our live demonstration.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I've got a bit of a question. Does your interface allow people to see how many people are present inside one of the rooms?
Yes, so it is kind of small on here. I don't know if you can see it, but it does say 374 listeners.
Okay.
So you can see like how big of the party is, yes.
Wonderful. I have a question. What kind of interaction is allowed between listener and also between listener and DJ?
So currently we have we're thinking of limiting like all interactions. The only thing you do is enter a space and listen to the song and just know that you are with other people, and that's like the whole point of MUSE, with like you're being able is to give you like a sense of belonging in a community. If I'm thinking of like right off the bat currently, but if any interaction, I'm thinking like suggesting songs to the DJ to possibly host, which then the DJ can take into consideration and then queue up new songs afterwards. Just to avoid any conflict between such large communities, we don't have any interactions being
I understand, because sometimes I understand. So that's one thing that you have to balance, because if there are a lot of interaction, then you know it's a distraction. But if no interaction, then you don't feel like you belong, and so it's a balance. You have to,
So yeah, we would ideally want, if any interaction, to be very simple, so that the users can really like bask in the ambiance of the room and the music. As you can see on the mock UI, there is a like button, so that if in any interaction, the DJ can see that the users are liking their music space. And so also, like, ideally, the reason why we want to limit interaction is because, like, hypothetically, like a situation you could find yourself in is like you could relax and study or do homework while also being in the space. So you're in like a space with a bunch of various other people, but you're also still focused. You're not being too distracted.
Yeah, I think maybe we can learn something from Twitter Space, in which they only allow like 13, I believe, 3 hosts and only 10 speaker, and the rest of them is listener. Unless they were recognized, they cannot speak at all. So that kind of balance is in Twitter Space. They don't just allow 1,000 people to speak at the same time.
Right. Yeah. We wanted to definitely integrate Twitter Spaces because it is a new, fresh format. But obviously, Twitter Spaces can be like quite hectic and quite like disorganized as well. We wanted this to be kind of mellow, kind of vivid, colorful, but still keep that mellow ambience, so users are comfortable in the space that they're in.
Thank you.
For me, I had to look up the artists that you were searching for. So,
any suggestions?
Luckily,
definitely search up any.
Who they were. Like Post who?
Luckily, since it's connected to the Spotify API, like you're able to listen to as many artists as you can. or from whatever eras or whatever genres. So yeah.
Okay, let's try one. Are you willing to do a demo real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Try The Struts. Yep, that's
Hey.
the
Ta-da!
yeah.
And then you get like similar artists of sorts as well.
Wow. Neat.
Thank you.
Kylie, I have a question.
Music taste.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, what's up?
when you say that people can go into a room and listen to like the DJ's like music, right? Is it a preset playlist or is it a live thing that they're like flipping through the songs?
So they can queue up either a playlist or songs.
Okay, cool.
The DJ is in control. They get to as Kyler mentioned, they get to choose songs, they get to queue, but in the moment it's live and it's up to the DJ really.
Sure.
Okay, I hate to be the moderator, but it's only like a 5-minute presentation, so
Yeah.
probably got to move on.
Thank you so much,
really
Kylie.
Thank you for listening.
Very nice
everyone.
presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I love the PowerPoint too. That was really cute.
Nice job.
Round of
I'm gonna
applause for
leave
you
my,
guys.
I'm going to leave my cam off just because I think it helps the bandwidth a bit. I'm still here, though.
Okay.
I should probably
All
do
right.
the same.
So that was our first group, React. Let us move on to the next one. Los Corazones. Are you guys presenting? Are you guys available?
I had a question.
Yeah.
So is the presentation 5 minutes minimum or 5 minutes maximum?
It should be between 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Sorry to put the stopwatch on you.
What
My
about
apologies.
Aperature? Are you guys here?
Yeah, we're here.
All right, you guys ready to present?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. So let me get this going here.
Sure thing.
Very excited to hear from Aperature Science.
Oh yeah, thank you. I mean, they didn't lead to a great turning point, but let me present you the Aperature Science Laboratories with the innovation of the future in the forefront of technology. We'll go over the team members here. We got Ibrahim. He was the lead developer, so a lot of the functions and every nitty gritty and the GUI, the user interface, was mostly generated by him. Lamont helped with the presentations and all the nitty gritty stuff that us coders don't understand. So definitely Lamont helped in that department of all those things. I was a junior developer as I caused more problems for Ibrahim than ever before. But I learned a lot. So I was glad to be under his belt for that. So we'll move on to the presentation now, and we'll go to the problem statement. So what does everyone have at home? They have fridges, right? And as college students, we often forget a lot of things, like maybe food in the fridge, and it probably expires, and it smells bad, and it's nasty to clean out. I guess we could have no solution, right? Well, we do. At death, there's rebirth, and I present to you PKO. I thought I would hear like chants and stuff, but that's all good.
How about a whoop whoop?
Yeah, we can just spam some kappas in the chat.
I
So,
love
thank you. So basically, this is kind of the user interface. It will kind of show you like all the items in it, but I will leave that up to Ibrahim later on in the demos, and you'll explain exactly what the user interface does. So we'll explain what we learned throughout it. A lot of us learned how to code quickly and ran through a lot of like syntax errors, as you can see with the sad face. So I just started learning Python just recently. Lamont's starting to learn Python. He downloaded Python and everything, and he's learning how to do all the steps. So we kind of wrote comments within our work so that he can kind of go over it and stuff. So Next is we learned how to use Git. A lot of COVID has led us to like a lot of individual projects. So working in groups was kind of like out of the loop for me. I was always learning how to code on my own. So definitely learning how to use GitHub, and hopefully later on in like corporate society where things are a lot more integrated, it's a very important asset to have. Next is chemistry. Not the scientific definition, but the teamwork. What I learned is and what we learned as the product is like an artwork. What is made is shown through the passion of the creators. So a lot of the work that is done really shows out within the product itself. So all of the functions, all the logic stuff, and all the nested loops that don't work. So definitely creates that artwork. And lastly is having fun, especially with this hackathon being 48 hours and stress-inducing and enjoying at the same time. Even through all the errors, having fun is an important fuel to succeed in perfecting your coding skills. So a little passion will go a long way. So definitely, if I didn't have the enjoyment or the exciting 48 hours to complete a project, I definitely wouldn't be where we are now. So I'll take it over to Ibrahim, he'll show the demo of the product.
All right. Share my screen. Okay. Okay. First of all, you did help me with a lot of stuff, so you don't have to say like you got in my way. But yeah. So for our thing, we had like a little GUI that like has all the elements of our hack in it. So instead of just like a shell that we would have to use to interface, we decided to add all these stuff. So when you first open it, you could like see all the items that you would have in your fridge that you would have inputted before. So you have the milk, and then it says the expiration date. And then the cool thing about it is that it's just a color coding indication. So when it's green, it means that, okay, you're really good. It's not going to expire soon. But like this bread, it's going to expire in like 4 days. So the application's going to just give a warning like, oh, your bread is going to go expire soon. And then this cheese is 1 day expired, but the application tell you in red that, oh, this cheese is probably bad. You shouldn't eat it. And you could probably get rid of it. And one of the ways of getting rid of food in the application is to type this, and then you could delete it, and it'll disappear. And if you want to add more stuff, you could put in the food, what the expiration date over here. So let's see, let's put in some eggs. And then we'll say there. And then we'll refresh and it'll appear over here. And that's most of what we had for this hack. I really like that it's like in a GUI, but it's not so pretty because we had like 40 hours to complete this. So yeah. Is there any questions or comments?
I have a quick question here. Your countdown, since you've got this open real quick, is this going relative to your computer's time, or is it going to the program's own sense of time?
No, it goes for the computer's time. So I don't know if I want to show you the code, but over here it gives yellow when it's like 5 days or something before the expiration date. So it'll take the month, which is 2nd, and then the day, which is 6, and it'll just kind of count down from that time on your computer.
Good, so it is querying the system time.
Yeah.
Could you do something for me real quick? Could you add something that's clearly gone very bad? Something that went bad, say, 2 weeks ago.
Okay, two weeks ago, okay. Let's see. This is good enough?
Yeah.
A whole month before? Okay. And yeah, it'll just show basically red. Drag that down.
Very good.
Yeah. You could technically put it like a whole year before, but it's always going to be bad anyways. And if you have something that's a year old in your fridge, then I really don't think you need this.
Oh, very good.
Okay, any more questions?
So the color, can you hear me? So the color of each item is going to change as the time evolves?
Yeah, so like let's say 2 days or like 4 days time, then this milk would probably be yellow, and then like 7 days later, this yogurt and eggs would be yellow.
Is there a way to query, for example, what have expired so right now?
Wait, sorry, I didn't get your question.
My question is, for example, I want to find out all the expired food by the refrigerator.
All the expired food, so it would basically
so I can throw them
as red.
Just click the red.
Yeah, it would just be red, and then like you just threw it out. You could just delete it if you want.
But if you have multiple items, you're going to show a table, right? One for each row.
Like multiple expired items?
Yeah, multiple items expired.
It will just go down the list and it'll just keep showing red and red.
Oh, I see. So the last column which you have a color will show all the items.
Yeah.
And then all the red will cluster together, all the green will cluster together, all the yellow will cluster together. So this is look like a queue, right?
Yeah, it's more like a queue. It's not like grouped together or everything.
Okay, all right.
We could have it where everything is grouped, but it's more simple like this.
Yeah, I mean, we had everything like in a CVS file, so it's more about like when we updated the information, it would list the expiration dates, and we would go off the expiration dates and compare it to our current time. So what we could do is that we can do like an organization where we can kind of loop it, where anything that is getting close to dates would actually just read up top, and then things that are in the like getting close intermediate will be in the middle, and then things at the bottom would be red, and that would create a little bit more easier to the eye than rather a bunch of yellows and reds. So I understand where you're coming from that, but definitely
basically doing a sorting.
yeah. I mean that is another like a loop that we would have to implement. Within the 48 hours, majority of it was the functionality of it, and getting it to the green and the yellow and the red took us forever, and probably like 24 hours nonstop sleep. So definitely, if we had 25 hours in a day, then we would definitely get.
Well, it's already impressive within such a short time. You have to do so much. Besides, you have to learn everything.
Yeah,
I mean, from language first.
Yeah, but we have no excuse. I mean, everybody else has the same boat as us. So definitely, I do like that idea that we should have it green, yellow, and red. It'll make it a lot easier, or even in separate columns. So it's a little easier to read than rather trying to read a whole list down. So definitely something we can implement further down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will say, don't feel bad. I work with GUIs. That's a nice GUI.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
This looks nice.
Yeah,
it's obvious, right? At least it's obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like our team is proud of it. We just would like to add some more stuff. Like if we had more time, that would be pretty cool as well. But yeah, I think it's nice so far.
It looks good.
Awesome. Taking it to Tech Town, so see us at the next startup. So, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Round of applause for them. All right. Next, we have
definitely.
We have the Code Pirates. Code Pirates, are you guys here? Okay, looks like they're not presenting today. What about the Alpha Analyzers? Okay. What about Capital Roommate? Are you guys presenting today?
Yep.
All right. If you'd like to go ahead and get started, I'd love to see what you have.
All right. So can you guys see?
Yep, I can see slides.
All right, I'm gonna give it a couple seconds before I start. All right, so this is the hackathon presentation by the team Flat Out. And so it's me on the team. See on the right, that's me. I'm Kid. That's me rock climbing. So I'm a first year Wayne State University student, and I'm majoring in computer science. And as you can see here, this is also my hobby interest. I'm into cars. So the theme of the hackathon was life at home. And so I came up with a bunch of ideas for the theme. But one idea I had was I'll explain in the form of like a story. So like let's just say there's a boyfriend and girlfriend, and right now they're arguing over something. So such as like, oh hey, I can't pay for rent or for the bills this month. Can you help me pay for the bill? So let's just say normally they split up half and half, but for some reason he can't pay that half. So I wanted to create an application that could do that. But normally the other ways you could do it is that you could do you could write it down in a document, like actual physical paper. But if you do it this way, then you would have to keep track of the paper, and you would have to constantly be filling it out. And so another way you could do it is using a spreadsheet. So, just using this online, it's kind of hard. If you don't know how to use a spreadsheet, it's confusing. So I wanted to create a secure online financial app where all that information is secure, and you could easily adjust all that information. So the platform I wanted to create on was a website application, and I also wanted to make it mobile friendly. And so in order to do all that, I also wanted to do authentication and authorization, so kind of like a password. So this is sensitive data. You don't want anyone to access it. So in order to do all of that, you also need a database. So, and before I tell you how I brought the idea to life, I want to tell you guys what I learned. So I learned how to create a web app. So the first step was ideas and planning. And then the next step was to create the front end. So basically, just what you see on the web app. And third step was creating the database. And then the last was building the back end. So I learned the Vue.js front end framework. And so I started to learn about databases. So I learned that there were two types of databases, SQL and NoSQL. And then I learned MongoDB, which was a NoSQL database. Now, I'll tell you guys how it was implemented, or how I implemented this. So, I was excited first. I was like, okay, yeah. So, now I got all the information down. I just got to put everything together and learn how to do it. But there was a big obstacle. And this was me before I learned everything I needed to know. I was like, so how am I going to do this? I don't really know anything about databases or all this other stuff. I've never created a web app before. So, and then I couldn't implement as much as I'd like due to the time constraint and because of my lack of knowledge. So for me, this is more of a learning and a knowledge experience and a creation experience. But I did start small and created something small. So onto the planning of the project and what I've done, I created a small window for the web app. So on the red, that would be the logo. And in blue, I would add like a bill. So then I also want to create a table in the web app. And so what this table would be, see here, this would be the bill. And so this is what it should look like before you add the bill. So if you were to add a bill, you can add in, say for example, utility right here. Utility, and you can add a cost to it. So let's say you have 3 roommates, John, Tom, and Lucy. So each of them would contribute this much. And see down here, the total. And so this add button adds roommates, and this delete button would delete each bill. And this purple one would just clear everything. So now on to showcasing my demo. And this is my references, Google Images. So this is basically just the front end. It's a static website, so it doesn't actually perform anything. The add button doesn't work. The trash, the add button, it doesn't work. Well, I mean, that's it really. It's a static web app. Well, it probably isn't even a web app, I would say. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome, thank you. Judges, do you have any questions?
Hey, that's really good for like not like you said, if you didn't know much, like you did really good.
Thanks.
How come I'm the one who had to pay the biggest share of all the utilities?
What was that?
I just noticed my name was the one paying the biggest share of all the utilities.
Hey, I like the gumption that you had no knowledge going in, and you gave it a shot anyhow. That's courage, and that's to be applauded. So, nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do want to say, so you were working on your own for this?
Yep, I was working on my own.
Yeah, so for working on your own and just learning this stuff, that is quite impressive. So in 2 days, very good.
Well, I would say this could be it's a simple, but it's very useful. I mean, so continue and finish it up. I mean, maybe it's useful for some people.
Definitely. That's why that's what I want to do.
It's very intuitive if you look at this, because Excel, in appearance, is simple, but once you get into it, it's really not that simple to use, actually. You have to really understand. In other words, it's overkill for this application. This application, you already know what you want to do. It's basically share the cost. So just focus on the simple utility. I think you make it, really friendly. Basically, I like this interface.
Yep. Any other questions or comments?
One more comment. You said it's secure and everything. Maybe one thing you can do is basically after you do a split, everybody can click buttons that they agree. So in this way, when the dispute comes, you have a record that, hey, you actually agree with this too.
Yeah, actually, I did think about it. So what I was planning on doing, actually, if I had the knowledge, was I was going to have a main account or like an admin account and to add other accounts or users. And so what the admin account do is could also give like permissions or something to other people too.
Right. Yeah.
But more like sophisticated, so I didn't get too deep into it.
It's more like 1% input, or for example, giving the example 100, you can say, okay, 20, 20, and then 80. And then you can send that to everyone, and everyone can sign it. By signing, what I mean is just click a button so that eventually we know that this is agreed on by everyone.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, because I didn't have the knowledge, I just want to create something a little bit more simpler, but generally within the same like idea.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So I'd say keep on it. Looks like it could be something really good.
Yes, keep doing it.
Yep. Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Let us move on. Oh, round of applause too for you. We love your presentation. You did great work. So next, let's go to Zavar. He was working on his project by himself.
Yeah,
Zavar, if you'd like to share your screen.
I am loving these presentations, though, you guys. They're really
Can we go next?
Okay. You guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I made a project here called MIDI Macros. You'll see what that is. So what is it? This program allows users to bind efficient shortcuts, macros to their MIDI keyboard, which is like a USB piano for my case, and increase productivity while working. So why did I do this? Or, like, what's the problem? When working at home, menial tasks such as opening specific files or playing music can be less of a burden to do so. With utilizing the MIDI protocol, you can actually mitigate this. So in doing so, certain actions can be performed with the press of a button, and with over 128 keys to use on a traditional MIDI piano, the possibilities are endless. So all in all, the amount of time saved looking for that specific folder or any other redundant task is paramount. So what I learned in this, I learned how MIDI works, like how the data flows, the input and outputs, keyboard emulation to like kind of automate some tasks, and sub-processes. So I have a video here because I can't really like this is the best way for me to show it. So it's like 5 minutes.
Okay, welcome to my
Can you guys hear it?
Hackathon project. Here I
Yes,
have
I
a
can hear you.
MIDI keyboard right here. It's kind of like a USB piano that I can plug into my computer. So the project was that, or the theme of the project was to create something that was what's it called, to automate your life at home and stuff. And this really made my life simple, doing the programming for this, because now I can do a ton of stuff by just pressing a bunch of keys and whatnot. So here I'm going to show you the type of stuff that I have. So here, this key right here, these 4 keys, I have it all memorized now, but this key opens up my one of my server directories, like network drive, so I can quickly open that without having to open File Explorer and then go find it like here, and then that would be like really annoying. This one opens up my school drive, or the next one does, but this one opens up my other network drive. This key right here opens up my my college folder that I have all my schoolwork in. This key, it would open over here. This key, that key opens up my agenda, stuff that I have, just stuff that I've written down, stuff I have to do. This key over here opens up an empty notepad, so I can jot my notes down, whatever I need to do. What else do I have here? So yeah, so that's pretty much the directory stuff. It's pretty nice. Here, I can open up an incognito tab on Chrome just by pressing this button, and then this button, I can open up just a normal tab on Chrome, so it's pretty nice. I don't have to do all that other jazz. So let me go on to the second part. So here, since there's 128 different keys, the octaves, you can move left and right, so this just moves it kind of one left. I pretty much have 128 possible like macros. So what I did was I moved this back, and so here, this is a different key. This key opens up YouTube, and you can see clearly it opens up a video. So I also have multimedia controls. So if we go back normal, and then we have we can move up the volume using this key, and you can see the harder I press it, or the slower I press it, the volume goes down a little bit low, like it goes up by 2. But if I press it really hard, it goes up faster. I'm utilizing the velocity component in this MIDI keyboard, so it uses like the pressure and how fast I press the key to determine like the value of how much I'm going to increase it by. So that was pretty nice to use, and that's velocity. So it's like how hard you press the keyboard, and that translates into the program. So there's that. I can play and pause with this key right here. These 2 keys I can use to left, or what's it called, previous media, and then next. Like I could skip. This skips the song. This goes previous, but this is just a YouTube video, so I can't really do that. Here I have like volume controls. So you can see you can actually see right here. So you can see that the volume changes depending on like the ratio. So like if I put this to 0, it should completely mute it. If I put it all the way up, it goes to 100. If I put the thing in the middle, it should go around 50. So that's pretty nice. So like I can just quickly do that and it'll mute itself, whatever. You can also mute. I have it so if I press this button, it mutes it, and you can see that it lights up, so I can tell when it's actually muted, and then it's unmuted and muted. It's pretty nice. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to close out of this, put back to 100. I also have a Discord shortcut, so this mutes. You can hear that if it picks up. And then deafen with this one. So So that's pretty nice. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you. I have another thing right here, I believe. Yeah. So this this toggles my what's it called? My screensaver here. In case I just want to leave, I just press that button and I'll go do whatever, just so I don't waste energy. I guess the monitors. Okay, so here is an unrelated project that pretty much just takes values from my computer and it stores it, and it like displays it onto an LCD. So this is I also added integration for this to my keyboard. So if I press this button, I can't really show me pressing it, but I'll try to make it as audible as possible. So if I press that, it should go into the next screen. If I press previous, like the previous key, it should go into the next one, and then I could keep kind of switching it just by using my keyboard. So this is just another project that I worked on, but now I can switch the screens, I guess, for different information. Depending on whatever I want to do. So that's pretty nice. That's just, again, further, it's kind of unrelated, but I integrated it to this other project that I worked on previously. So now I can just easily switch instead of having to use this remote that I usually switch it and do all that stuff with. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice. So, I mean, that's pretty much it with this project. Yeah, thank you for viewing.
So that's like it. If anyone has like any questions, feel free.
So I actually use a MIDI keyboard myself for game design purposes. My question is, when you use this for your hot buttons, does it play music?
What do you mean?
So if you hit a hot button to say open a folder, does it also play a tone?
Oh no, I don't have it like play a tone, but I probably could. Like it's very like easy the way I have it set up.
To me, that's like the whole fun of it is time to do some work. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I had a lot of trouble, or not a lot of trouble, but it took a long time to figure out how to parse the values from the MIDI keyboard because there was like, it's different for every like MIDI interface. And so for mine, I had to like find out all the values, like what values changed. And then I documented it in the code. What worked for me, and so yeah, that was part of the fun, just figuring out how to like actually use these values.
I can't believe you rickrolled all of us.
Yeah. Got him.
Never gonna give.
But yeah.
Now I feel like I need a mini keyboard as well.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Do like a lot of stuff with them. It's like besides instrument, like music.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So sometimes the hotkey depends on the state of the computer. Is it always consistently working no matter where you are, no matter the key is always going to be working, or have to be in a particular state?
Well, the keys, like, are you asking like if the keys are like toggled, like in some way? Is that what you're asking?
Let's put it this way. For example, you have two states. One is the browser is already open, and the other is browser is not open yet. So, and you want to watch YouTube. So the key will be always working, even if its browser is not open. Then you're going to open the browser first, and then play the YouTube. Or the browser is already open, then you don't need to open. You just go to YouTube and play it.
Oh yeah. For like opening like new tabs, the way I have it is it just calls like it just executes chrome.exe. So if I have like a tab open, I can literally do it like right here. Yeah. Or you can't see that, but yeah. So I just opened this new tab. So it opened it in a new window. But sometimes, like I've seen it just like add on, like open a new tab. It honestly just depends on like whatever. I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, probably what I'm asking is, do you write some kind of if else inside your macro to decide what is the state of the computer now, and then do something about it?
Yeah. It's definitely possible. I don't think I did it as much as I'd wish, because it took me long enough to figure out how to like the MIDI stuff work. But the way the code is implemented, it's very easy to like add your own macros. It's just
Okay.
like yeah. Any other questions or comments?
All
Thank
right.
you so much. Applause.
Thank you.
Yeah, round of applause for Zavar.
Good job, man.
Very good. All right. So our next team is going to be Abe Masood. He was working on a solo project as well. Abe, if you'd like to share your screen, get started.
Can we go after this group? I mean,
Is the next group is ready to present? If Poll, you are ready to go, then yeah.
okay.
I think you're the last group.
Yeah,
So.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Abe. I'm mostly a backend developer, but I've done a little bit of front end work as well. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and list the things that I learned first, just to get that out of the way. Because once I get into like the project itself, I might forget. So I apologize. I don't have any images or a slideshow. I'm working on the solo, so I was mainly just concerned with like implementing the project itself. Plus, I got called into work. Like I had to log in twice, so that was fun. But yeah, basically what I learned is I have worked with like AWS services before, but I had never had to set up like basically a web app from scratch with like authentication with a database, with a backend, and like web hosting and all of that. I've had to do like parts of that at each time, but never all of it together. But from the technical side, I did that, and then on the soft skills side, really I learned how to look at the website or web app or the product from a consumer's point of view. So yeah. I also learned a lot about basically there's this API that I applied to, but wanted to add a feature for that, but they didn't approve me. Like it takes like 4 days to get the approval for that API. I don't know why, but it does. And I only realized that after I learned how to integrate with them. This API was for recycling location. So basically it gives you, like, you give it the zip code and then it gives you recycling locations in that zip code. Yeah, so I'm going to move on to the product itself. Okay, so this is, I'm going to talk about the issue first, which is I've had to move at like a couple of times within the past 5 years, and a lot of my friends moved, and I plan on moving a lot. I plan on, traveling the country and like living in each state for a little bit. And it's always a hassle to just, update your address with everyone that you've given out your address to. Like, the Postal Service has this feature where you can have them forward your mail to your new address, but that costs money. That costs like $40, and they only do it for like 6 months, and then after that, basically, it's not a permanent solution. They only tell you, okay, we're gonna forward your mail for this amount of time until you figure out who you've given out your address to, and then you go update your address with all those people and all those companies and government entities. So yeah, we're basically giving you a six month like grace period to do the work, but it's not a solution. Like, it's not a permanent solution. It's not an easy solution either. So yeah, when I moved in the past year, I had to update my address everyone. Until this day, I still get mail to my old address, and I get a phone call whenever that happens, and I have to drive there, and I have to have them mail it to me. Yeah, so I came up with this idea. It's called Address Oracle. It tells you, it tells you where the address is. Basically, the idea is, instead of you going out, like, giving out your address to people, instead of you, like, with the, I don't know, your insurance, your work, different companies, Amazon, online shopping, instead of giving them your address, you will come to this website. You'll give me your address. I'll give you a 6 character string. It's 6 characters, not too long. So you take that string, you give it to whoever you want to give your address to. And then when they want to ship something to you, or whenever they want to know what your address is, instead of having your actual address, they have this string, and then they come to me, which is address oracle. They come to me, and then they give me this ID. I'll give them your most recent address. So basically, when you move, you don't have to change your address anywhere except for one place, which is address oracle. I'll update your address there, and then everyone gets your most recent address. I'm gonna go ahead and demo the project. So there's a sign up page here, or login. This is like the landing page. Oh yeah, when you open the website, it lands you here, and then you can sign up. I'm gonna go ahead and sign up for a new account. So username, let's say Abe. I'm not gonna do Abe because I already have an account that's Abe, so it's not gonna work. But, and when you click on password, it shows you like the criteria for the password. And then, for example, I'm gonna input like a lowercase letter. It's gonna put like a line through this to let you know that you've met this requirement. But basically, okay, sign up. Now it's such a shame that I used React and this is not as responsive. Like it didn't tell you that you've signed up. Like I use React and that would have been really easy, but you know, it's one of the things that, you know, if I had like an extra 20 minutes, I would have probably done this, but I didn't. So, but yeah, I basically have signed up. Now I have to go like verify my email address. Okay, I'm on the other screen checking my email. Okay, so I just clicked the email on the other screen. And now I'm going to go ahead and log in. Okay, so it basically takes you to your home page and your only page. It normally would show your address, like your address is here. It doesn't show anything because I just signed up for the account. So I'm going to go ahead and add an address. Let's do... I'm going to get the address of the White House.
It's 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah, I just wanted to copy that. Okay, create address. Now, same deal with sign up. It's not like it actually created the address, but it's not responsive enough to show you right away. Could probably done that if I had a little bit of extra time, but I have to refresh. And yeah, basically this is your address. Now it generated this ID. This is your address Oracle ID. Yeah, so basically you take this and you give it to people, and then this is your physical address. And yeah, if you change your address, you come here, edit, you change it. Let's change it to, I don't know, just some street. And you change the address. Same thing, it's not responsive enough, but it changes to some street. Now, when you give this this address ID to people, I have like a public API that's unauthenticated. That's just anyone could query it. Basically, this is the URL for it, and this is live. By the way, even this, like even the web app, it's live. You can go ahead and you can go to this link and sign up for an account and create an address, and then give this out to people, and they can use it. Everything is like deployed. But yeah, they basically just make a request to this URL, and then they add this query parameter, send, and it comes back with the address. Yeah, that's what I have. And yeah, did you guys have any questions?
Very impressive. Question. Did you happen to make the artwork that's also on the front page of this? The creatures looking at the globe.
I made this thing, but not the artwork.
Okay, I was saying in a short amount of time, that's very impressive. This is interesting because I don't know about everyone else, but I've got addresses through several different websites for deliveries, for billing, for stuff like that. A very clever idea.
Well, also I like the name Oracle because it basically is going to answer the question. So I feel, we have seen people using the client side, using the extension to fill out the address automatically, but this is different because fill out of the address is just saving the typing, doesn't saving the update problem, which is, you do this. But here's one question I have. You have this address ID and just discussing. I know. I don't think what I said might be a better solution. But right now, everybody might have the wallet, the crypto wallet. Do you think replacing this address ID by the public key, the wallet might be something you can think about?
I'm sorry, my audio cut out for a second. Can you repeat the question, please?
Nowadays people are using wallet, crypto wallet like a MetaMask. And one of the things MetaMask has is they call the public ID, which is visible to everyone, which is unique, and they are already using it. So instead of creating another ID, which is address ID over here, why can't we just reuse the existing ID that people are already using so popular? Then you save all the trouble. And besides, in that way, you don't need to create an account at all. You just sign in over here without username password. You save all the trouble because here I just don't want to remember so many username password anymore.
Yeah, well, concerning the username and password, I think most people don't remember username and password. They just have one of those password managers.
That's another issue, but the address ID might be. I'm not 100% sure given the 5 minutes discussion, but something we can think about. You want to, before I say this, I want to say actually, commercialize this. I'm sure this will, get
this is actually an idea I pulled out of my. This is an idea I pulled out of my $1 million ideas jar.
Yeah, but think about it. The address ID. If you replace the address ID by the MetaMask ID, maybe you can commercialize more easily because now you don't need to worry about this address ID. You have to pass it along to all the, because passing the address ID is another problem. If you use a MetaMask ID, you don't need to pass it. You don't need to do that.
So if I can interject something real quick. So I spent a lot of time in the government, and we did a project very similar, not like what you're doing on an individual basis. One of the problems within government, let's say the state government, there's all of these different agencies, right? Hundreds of agencies. Well, is the same person all right, so if you think about grepping out or looking at an individual record, is this the same person that's in Treasury, that's in Secretary of State or Department of Corrections or DNR? So what if they changed their phone? They had a home phone and now a cell phone. Okay. What if they had they changed their address like you have here, right? What if a person changed their name, right? They got married or whatever. So there's an application that we ran, and we collected all of these disparate systems and filtered out within 99% probability it was the same person. So rather than the Secretary of State having 6 different addresses for somebody, they got the latest and greatest one through Treasury, right? And that would go automatically update all of those unique IDs, right? So you're onto something here.
Yes.
The application that we used was something called Rhapsody. So and this filtered like 85 million records, so give you some kind of scope.
I will say, functionally, it's built well enough that I actually just signed up on it.
Nice.
Oh.
So I'm your first customer. There you go.
Okay, you already got a first customer.
You should have charged him.
There you go.
No, I'll just run
Ground
ads.
floor.
Nice job.
Thank you. Yeah.
No,
any other questions?
You can ask the federal to support it. They should support it. The Secretary of State should support it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they invested $0 into this.
I mean, how much money they charge us whenever we change address?
Yeah.
And the
I'm
hassle
gonna do
goes.
API keys and charge them per call.
I'm trying to change my address like 2 years already, and my driver license still have the old address. You know.
This is actually an idea that I came up with when I was struggling with like moving. So and there's nothing like it out there that I've seen. So it's unless you're the government and you can spend money on it. Yeah.
Fantastic work, Abe.
Yeah, nice job.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Round of applause for Abe. Did a great job.
Yep.
Our next team will be, I believe, Nish. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Go ahead and start sharing your screen. And
Before you switch, I just noticed the address ID might need a little bit of protection because right now I see it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. So it might be possible to just do a what do you call polling and then find all the address of all the people. So probably you want to make the address a little bit secretive. The address ID.
I mean, the idea is that you're already giving out your address, so you know this ID is pretty public. There could be like a public key and then a private key and then authorization process, but that would probably slow down the adoption of it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in the chat. Just in case you guys want to check it out.
All right, thank you.
All right. So just a second, please. Just a second. I'm sorry.
Don't panic.
Because when I share my screen, it's stuck. So okay. So we are ready. Huh?
I can see your slides.
Ready.
Yeah. All right. So my name is Nishar Patel, and our name is Alpha Analyzer. Not like Alpha Analyzer. Our name is the Big Dog, and our we are presenting, and our main goal is to to make a to-do list, because in the COVID time, people make like a task management is so important. So we are trying to help them with that. So basically, our app we are making like it's kind of a website, and we created it with a personal time management app that the user can enter like whatever to-do list they want to do, and it will also show the timer, as well as it will also give up the motivational quote to get energetic for them. All right, and our team roles is I created the framework of the website and design file. My other teammate is Paul Chaudhary. He worked on the list to do list and designed the timer function, and he also did help me in the styling of the application. And the third person is the Golden Fuse. He created the inspirational quotes, and he also helped us in the designing the website. So basically, our app, just as I explained earlier, it will just ask you to add a task, and once you add it up, it you can also delete it. Like there is a check mark, not my bad, not a check mark. Like there is a strike through on that word, and yeah, it also gives you a motivational quotes every time when the user clicks to display to get energetic and like motivates to do that work. And the software we use is for the we use the JavaScript. That's where we used to design the to-do list, and we also did like a timer function in the JavaScript from an API. The next one we did is HTML and CSS. That's where we created our website developer using the XHTML and CSS, the design CSS. We did Visual Studio Code to index and layout of the design for our website, and GitHub to manage and share everything with each other. So this is how our product looks. So there is basically a motivational quote, and when you hit a next quote, you'll get a like, let's say you want to see next quote to get energetic, you can always hit next quote. On the top right side, there is a timing machine where it is hour, minute, and second it gives you, and you can start and you can reset it. And after that, there is a to-do list. That's where like user can enter their to-do list and add it, and once they are done, you'll get a strike through on the word. So what we learn is in the JavaScript, we learn how to basically we all are like sophomore and junior, so we don't have a lot of experience. As well as this, I think this is our first hackathon, and we learn like JavaScript classes, how to build classes and functionality. We learn APIs, how to get information from another source and apply that through a JavaScript. And we also did teamwork on how to work with other people and how to coordinate meetings. And we actually have no experience on we do, some of them have little bit, and especially I have no experience on the GitHub. So with that, we learn how to use GitHub properly and how to communicate. Okay. So basically over here, when the user hit, there is a quote. When the user hit next quote, it will give you the like different motivational quote. And when the user want to enter a task, so let's say we can enter a task like homework, and you can hit add, and it will ask you about the do you want a timer on this, and if we do yes, you can put like how much, what's the timing, minutes, and everything, and the timer will start. And there's a timer. Once we are done, let's say we are done with the homework, you can click on it and it can make a strike through. So basically it helps a lot in the time management. Not probably, it will help in the time management to all of us. Yep, thank you. And any questions?
So did you do all this through just straight Visual Studio?
Yeah,
Nice. Could you add while the timer's going down, what happens if you add another task to this?
So if we add another task, I think it will reset the timer.
Okay.
When it will ask you again, like, do you want a timer on this thing? And we can put a time. So this
Do you saw the to-do list? Do you saw them?
Huh?
In the to-do list, all the tasks you have, do you saw them in some kind of order?
No, there's no order. Basically, the user can do it once the task was done. You can just delete that thing.
So the user decide which one he will do first.
Yes. So the user has to make a to-do list. Not like we didn't create a to-do list because everybody has different activities and everything. Yeah. Any questions?
I think it's a very cute app.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, great job. You did a good presentation, and I like your application a lot.
Thank you.
With that, I believe all the teams have gone. If there's anybody who has still yet to present, please speak up. But I believe we got through everybody.
First, a quick round of applause for our last team that presented. So for Alpha Analyzers.
All right. So now, if everybody could hold on, we can stay in this presentation channels. The judges will hop into the leader/judge voice chat, and we can discuss on the scores and decide on who's the winner.
Yes, sir.
Hooray!
All right. So let's start off with third place, and we'll work our way up to second place. Before we get into that, I want to firstly give everyone a huge thank you, and I want to say everyone did a really great job. All your projects, your presentations were seriously amazing. Not a single one of you were below my expectations. I feel like even though I did this last semester, still everybody exceeded my expectations. I was so surprised to see how awesome you guys' projects were, given the fact that you only had 48 hours to make it. So you guys should all be very proud of yourself, whether you win or not. I really hope you guys take at least a little bit of new knowledge with you after this hackathon is over.
Yeah, you guys did great. Like, it was awesome.
Okay, so we'll start off with third place. So, pull it up, make sure I get everyone's names right, get it all right. Okay, so third place, we actually had a tie. So the tie was between Aperature and Zavar. So big congratulations to both of you guys, both of your teams. So the prize for being third place, you guys get $50 gift cards to Micro Center, and that's individual. So each of you guys will be getting a $50 gift card to Micro Center. And yeah, congratulations, you guys. Right, and then we'll go to second place. Second place, this one goes to React. So congratulations to React, Kylie and Mizrar. You guys did an awesome job. Your prize is sitting behind me. If you want to take a look at my camera, I'll show you what you guys win. You guys get 3D printers. So this is the Ender Pro. You guys will be getting, it's individual, so each of you guys will be getting your own 3D printer. And then, for first place...
Do we want to have a drum roll for that? Or?
Yes, I think we do need a drum roll for this one. Thank you. First place goes to Abe. Abe Masood, congratulations on taking first place. You did an amazing job. Judges were really impressed with what you did, and all over the board, you had a very great application. And your prize for winning this hackathon is the Oculus Rift. Now, it's not going to be this one. You're getting the Oculus Rift S, the newer model. This is the model for display. But yeah, you'll be getting an Oculus Rift. So, congratulations to everybody. I hope you guys all enjoyed and had a great time, and more importantly, had learned something new throughout this. And yeah, for prizes, we're going to be reaching out to you guys to get these to you. So keep your eye out. We'll try to do a meetup where we can take some pictures as well. And yeah.
Just want to thank everyone for the hackathon and all the people who like contributed to it. So thank you guys for staying up late and working hard and stuff. So
thanks.
Yeah, thank the staff for keeping everything going. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you guys had fun.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, thank you for participating. It was a great time to see all the projects.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And fantastic work from all of you.
Thank you. And a special thanks to all the judges and the other professors we had who came in for workshops. We know you guys all have a really busy schedule, and we appreciate you guys taking out the time to come help us students learn some new things. So thank you so much for that. We look forward to working on some other stuff together too. And yeah, aside from that, we are going to be playing some games after. So if you guys wanted to join in for some Jackbox, feel free to hop into the game room. We can do that. And once again, I want to reiterate that you guys all did an amazing job. Oh, actually, there's one very big important thing that I forgot to mention, is that if you guys did not win today, you guys are still receiving $25 gift cards to Micro Center. As a thank you from the leaders for participating, and we wanted to reward your efforts as well. So everybody who got to participate and put an effort to make a project and got to present it, you guys will be receiving $25 gift cards to Micro Center as well. So congratulations to everybody. You guys did all phenomenal works on your applications. Judges were all happy. They were impressed. You guys did solid work.
Good job.
Great
work, guys.
Great work, everybody.
Woo!
Thanks, Vishwar. That's all we have for the closing ceremony. If you guys have any questions, any other concerns, please reach out to me. We'll be sending out a feedback form shortly as well. For you guys who won, anybody who's receiving any sort of gift, keep your eye out. We'll be reaching out to you. And if you have any questions about receiving the gifts or anything, feel free to reach out to me or Kelly, and we can clarify any of your questions. So thank you guys so much for participating. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, rest of your night, rest of your week, and rest of the year. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. That was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.